Here we are in the park, Sunday night early for the Rant. 3 blokes, near 50, we're in a park on a Sunday night. We're travelling.
It's
we're
absolutely
going
awesome. Oh, my sister's cooking me dinner.
Hopefully.
Seafood.
Gord, you see the bright side of everything.
Glass of wine. Beautiful weather.
Gord did see the bright side of Randwick. He went race 1 Anahid, he went race 10 Esperance. I don't know what happened in between times, but that was a neat bookend.
Well, I'll tell you what was absolutely fantastic, and it gives you a little bit of a thing of how I handle Glenn's Mounting Yard Mail. Like, I was against 14Oct18 in that race, and I was pretty much against all the horses that were up and running. So the only one I was interested in was Stampede, but I couldn't get too interested in. The message comes through, close to top, first up.
Well, you handle it well.
That's it.
That's all you want to know.
So, but I mean, what I'm saying is, like, you know, I'm not using the information all the time, but there's particular horses I'm really interested in.
I think everyone's
going
going
to
to use Mounting Yard Mail. I said that from the
yeah.
day dot. I don't want you to just cop them.
Yeah.
I want you to look at things, take it on board, and then work it out. Because I can't even work it out. It drives myself cuckoo.
But you know what it was saying?
You don't need to work it out.
No, but
Our
I tipped Regs out all week and haven't backed it.
And that's okay. Everybody that listened to you on the Friday show went, Glenn has said,
Yes.
how are they going to own this horse from gate 1?
It's a $13 million race. Not a jockey can make a move. They're all scared. They've gone to the Masters and they can't putt.
But I tell you what, playing devil's advocate here, if Glenn is that keen on Red Cell the day before and then
Didn't back it.
did you have it even in? You didn't even have it in your top 4.
I don't think I did.
I'm saying that that's a pretty bad sign. Like, you could think of it that way
I
too.
thought the change was really swamping late. And let's face it, you get 12 horses that look really great.
Okay. So you're being spooked by the way the track is playing. So we get to Randwick yesterday. I wasn't there, but the weather was like this, right?
Yeah.
And then what was the weather like?
A little bit of rain on and off.
Okay, so
Greg Radley said this morning it rained quite heavily before the Everest. I disagree with that.
Well, okay, the times say after Pirata, the track just disintegrated badly.
That's what the time says. But it just says one thing, that Pirata would have won the Everest, and if it didn't win the Everest, Jungle Edge would have won the Everest.
It's just so weird, isn't it? Because it's 2 years in a row now where the consolation has been more impressive on the time.
What does that say? It doesn't say anything.
But it says what Glenn said before, that they all fucking have a shock because they're running around for $13 million.
Yes.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah. Good, great point, good. It is a completely different contest.
It is. And the horse that's run third, well done Warren from Warren, who tipped us Osborne Bulls. All it did was go...
Warren!
I'm the stable listening to Dominic Byrne. We're going to go 100 yards left and come down the outside and see how we have a throw at the stumps, which is a great play. They've run third.
Yeah.
And Jesus, it made Esperance and Monty in the last race too, because you
knew
what instructions were going to be.
So Reveneer does more. Yeah. Esperance cuts the corner and just gets out there.
And by the way, owned it at the end too. Reveneer was never going to beat Esperance.
Right, okay.
The thing about that is that, like, Osborne being that successful, doing that, meant you knew that was going to happen in the last race.
For the blue colours.
For the blue colours,
yeah. You get such good clarity from being at home in the leather undies, Gore, because I never thought like that come the last. I'm out there, but I'm out there with 4,000 tits. Every girl dressed in,
yeah, but you're not looking at it anyway.
Well, I'm not really, no. So it's just torture. And everybody out there, tell your friends that's not the only race meeting here they're on again Saturday, because it does seem like we have, Pete has just put so much energy into this damn race, which has worked out well, but we have other races on. And I'll tell you what would have been a great thing yesterday was buy your ticket, blah, 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 and there's 2 tickets to the races at different dates, sometimes a year, non-carnival times, free to come to visit us. Wouldn't that have been a good idea?
You just you want to be part of a marketing team, don't you? Because if
I want people to come out to the races, because if they don't come out to the races, the bookies won't go to the races, then I have to get a job.
Neither.
Mark's not going to rain, is it?
No, none of that stuff. The point is that this is a full-on push, and next week there'll be no one there.
There'll be no one there when Saturday. What's on next Saturday?
The City Tattersalls Club Cup. The City Tattersalls Lightning.
Look, I know that, but by the way, I do think that it is successful, because at least you're getting some people to the races.
Okay, let's compare it to Caulfield yesterday, which had the Caulfield Guineas, 1,000 Guineas, the Toorak, the Caulfield Stakes.
Time-honoured races.
Feels like a proper meeting.
Oh,
The Everest yesterday, it doesn't feel like
but it doesn't
proper
matter.
meeting.
What are we talking about? Getting
I
new
know it
people involved
doesn't
in
matter.
racing.
Oh,
we should be
God.
getting new people wagering.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say you got 20,000 non-normal regular wagerers going to the races yesterday. Well, maybe 100 of them will end up being regular wagerers.
Yeah.
You're not going. You've got to do something.
No, it's a good saying. This is the only way to actually convert. The old way doesn't work anymore. Peter Landis and Andrew Bensley, how sickening is it? They're there talking about the weather and the fact that the Everest is like this thing. It's awful to listen to, but the fact is that it's probably the only way to actually...
Andrew Bensley is awful to listen to now.
Well, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
And talking, I was at home today betting on
Armadale.
And
Leaders?
I think they had young Tim Wallace up there who was doing, look, kudos to you, Tim Wallace. He was giving good commentary about horses parading their form, blah, blah, blah. What a beauty. It was good to listen to, easy to listen to. China and the other bloke down the other meeting, which was at Maruya, not so good, but I've done enough China bagging. But you get that time-honoured race meeting on Friday with Gary Harley. 3 minutes before the race, on one race, he was fucking talking about Robert Thompson's mother's homemade pies, and she always brings a couple of the track for him to fucking eat. Well, I've seen you at the track, Gary. You fucking eat all day. Have a look at you. But a time when you can get some information to punters, Gary Harley, who's only got a job because he did say a couple of races prior that Peter should be knighted and should be called Sir Peter. He's
a suck.
And for him to
Right,
talk
but all
about
that stuff
Robert Thompson's pies his mother makes, prior to giving us some sort of information, how do these people have jobs?
Because they're all sucks, right? Okay, so we're not sucking here. Let's talk about Randwick.
Yeah.
Was the rail on? Because I look at the meeting, I wasn't at the meeting, I see Dukan run second, and no, he wasn't on the rails in the straight, but he was on the rails for a long time, and I'm thinking, Dukan's run second, this rails is on, and you see Piarata just like own them.
I think it was just
Wide out.
a particularly fair track, Mark.
Yeah, so do I.
I
I thought the best was out wide, but there was very few races where you'd have the opportunity to get out there.
And when the things have lit on the fence, what's that word?
I don't think you
The
can.
peloton has been behind them. Like Big Blue kept going, but they're just stickers. Shows the importance of leading in a staying race. Wow.
We were stamping it as just being a fit horse who could handle the going.
Even his
We weren't
call-
worried about that much position on track.
Even his call, and I know you're probably getting sacked this week, Lizzie, even though I'm finally proud of you. Today on Thoroughbred Weekly, apparently Radley said it's going to win at the 2000. She said on the show, you should have got a Betfair and backed it in the run. Hallelujah! That's what she said.
on
Is
the
she
Thoroughbred
On
Weekly.
Thoroughbred Weekly.
What do you
the
know?
tape.
No.
That's what she
No.
said.
No.
She's now gone from lowest, worst person I've ever seen on TV, unrootable, to now I'm in love. I hope you get rid of that husband that bagged
Why did you
us.
say
I'm
she's
banging you.
gonna get sacked? Oh, she's going to get sacked for that comment, is that what you're saying?
You can't say that on Thoroughbred Weekly, owned by Sky and the Tab, run by Sir Peter. I'll get on Betfair and back into the run.
All
I'm
right,
so
okay.
proud of her.
But she possibly can.
It was fucking great
I
listening
don't
to
know why she can. Because her...
It's called quotas. It's called positive discrimination.
Oh, no more women left in the game.
Well,
What, we need to have China in there?
But I'm bashing for it.
I've given
I was so proud
her
of
a
her.
lot of time to be able to actually frame a sentence.
Who?
Yeah, and you
Her
failed.
English
And you
is
failed.
terrible.
Yeah.
Her English is terrible. What about the show today when they went to Melbourne to talk to Say Bid Drum Dun? They needed the fucking things down the bottom, and then they flew to they went to the Origin. I don't know what more. And it's just like, fuck, what show am I watching here? You got the,
Hey,
the
is
salty.
this part two or part one?
We're talking about racing. Oh, but I was so proud of you,
It's a
Lizzie. She
very
said to Radley,
long-
why didn't you get on Betfair and back it in the run? That'll do me. I'm now in love with her. She's the best.
That is like
Outstanding work by
must
her.
say, I must say,
Outstanding.
it's hard.
I don't know
not
if
to
it
like
was
that.
a slip. Ronnie went like this. He froze, and Radley didn't know what was going on.
Ronnie is the is the man for all seasons that bats for
Yeah, he's the last of
The
the old school.
mainstream.
He's the last of the old school going through the things.
Well, I think it's a bit of a shame.
How he's held on, I'll
I'm
never
actually
know.
pretty disappointed with with Duffy these days because he's the one that has the most massive profile.
Yeah, so
he's the one
he's
can
got the
actually
opportunity
to say
it, and he doesn't. So
No,
I'm
he
a
will
little
never
bit
say
disappointing
it.
in
Can
him.
I say to you why he will never say it? Because it's such it's such a shutdown. The whole thing, you cannot, or you realise that you cannot cut through. Whereas Lizzie's clearly said this unknowingly.
Oh, it was unknowingly. And Rads might have
Do you
said
know what's
around the
funny?
back.
Do you know what's funny? How would they line it up as far as the sin is concerned? Is Nick saying he banged the girl while the mic was still on worse, or Lizzie Jeff saying should have backed it in run on Betfair? They probably
Lizzie is in the Racing New South Wales office this week.
she's going to get called in.
Oh, it's like a little tap on the arse. Never say that again.
Anyway,
I know, I wouldn't mind doing it new, Lizzie, because you could be number 3 for all I care. You're the best.
all right, let's talk about these 2-year-olds, Glenn, because you put it out on top. Gordo on the Friday show said, oh, look, there's no betting here. This horse is the one. And
It's a bloody good win, guys.
she's only won by 4 lengths.
I think they're both followable. Both first and second we can follow.
How do you follow Gary Portelli? Shut up. One's Peace Note and one's G Portelli. You can't follow Gaz. She Will Reign is a distant memory that'll never happen again.
All right, but
Right.
Gord is actually, like, he's wrapping G Portelli horse. Why are you wrapping? Because you don't need to.
What I'm saying is, for me, there's something about the horse that screams it's got a little bit of class.
Good style of horse, good style of animal.
Yeah.
But Anna Heat will own it for its whole life.
All right.
Maybe it's a 2-year-old. but-
All right.
There's not much to talk about here. DV8 ran 6. DV8's a great litmus test going forward.
No, there's only, you know.
got beaten 8 lengths, so who cares?
Well, I just said that. That's what I'm saying. Who cares? Can't talk about it.
But how is DV8 a pox on the first and the second, or whatever?
No, it's not. Look, obviously,
There's
you know,
one horse to follow.
Anna Heat is absolutely obvious, and I'm suggesting you can also, in the right race,
All right. So
look at
what
Disruptor.
your fans want to know, Gord, is that DV8 won a 4-horse trial at Warwick Farm on the Monday prior to this race. What do you see?
DV8 or Disruptor?
Disruptor.
Sorry, no, Anna Heat. Sorry.
Just action. Just, you know,
But
when
you
you
saw
look
the
at an
action too,
animal
didn't you, when
and-
I did see the action, and I just went, well, this is a 4-horse trial.
No.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at the fact it's a 4-horse trial. I'm just looking at that one horse and going, for me, to my eye, you look like there's something there. And then Glenn backs it up by saying your message was best horse with improvement.
It was best horse.
So I that half inch.
Well, let's move to these country cuddies, eh?
Highway.
How the fuck didn't Law 1 win for all my punters and me?
Yeah, but it was never in the race. It ran on to run second.
Well, if you took 20s that got beaten half the length mark and was fucking held up on the
By-
inside
by
round the
the
back,
way-
you felt particularly unlucky.
By the way,
Sorry to say it was never going to
don't you
win.
feel like Dunn just rapes you?
He's the best.
Because you're specifically looking at the Dunn horse that he puts Ty England on, and that made me not give enough credit to
Well,
So
Mediterranean
the other
by
dumb
the
runner,
same thing. I send
it
down.
bled.
It's bled out of
Yeah.
both nostrils. It'll never race in Australia again. Fucking you beauty. See you later.
Mm.
But again, Mounting Yard Mile there, like I've tipped Mediterranean, bled both nostrils from Lawan.
Okay.
I've had not much luck there.
Right. There's nothing to say about this. Is
I
there?
think it's weak. Yeah.
I like it easy. Nice horses.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's Gerald Ryan. It wins first up against a team of horses that we maybe gave too much credit to.
Yeah, well, I was just, I don't know, like Christabel was absolutely disgraceful.
And it was
And-
Yeah,
disgraceful.
but
Disgraceful
God, the
betting.
betting said you are not seeing something here. That the
But
betting
I'm happy
said.
to ignore the betting, Mark,
No,
and a lot of the time the betting's
I
wrong.
know,
so-
but when I saw the betting on this horse, I went, okay, you guys are seeing something
So
serious here.
could it be the wet track? They knew that it had
No,
none
no,
on
no,
any track.
no, no. Well, but have a look at its performance. You have to say the betting was right.
Betting was spot on.
Yeah, I do, but what I'm saying is that doesn't mean I stamp the betting, because what I'm saying is the betting is wrong a lot of the time as well. So
No, but whatever they were seeing
Yeah, they were
the
right.
antithesis of
On-
what you were seeing.
Yeah. Look, I'm interested in the horse that came second there, Evelina.
No,
I think
let's not be interested in anything from this race.
I think it's got a bit of
let's
ability.
just put a big Racing Rant.
All right, well, let's move.
Racing Rant.
Racing Rant Pim job. Let's go to Stampede, Mark. You're in fine form this afternoon.
I tell you what, he doesn't go to the races.
I thought you might have had one glass of wine before I turned up, and I've jerried you've had multiple. I've never seen you like this.
And I'm stampeding through this card.
Good, that suits me. It means I can go home. Beautiful.
Look, there's nothing to say there. Kyonic, it's a myth.
Goodfellas in the chair.
No, but God,
That's a
you
weak
actually
race.
saw something really clever here. You said, I cannot back, so both Glenn and I were on Chaonic, in Chaonic's corner, and you said, I cannot back this horse in this race. Have you seen its last race? Look at it, you cannot back it from that run.
It just shows, like, you know, I adjusted the way I did things because I wasn't waiting the last start as much as I should, and then talking to some of the big syndicates and the way they handle things, I just realised that they give such a gigantic weighting as far as their analysis is concerned to the last start.
And this is like Glenn, Chaonic, terrible.
Terrible, yeah. It went terrible. It didn't parade like it had been. It had no sparkle. And I mean, I know I had Stampede second or third in my numbers there, but like after the race, it was a complete moral. I mean, I know I'm talking like on a Monday show, and I jumped down Mark's neck for saying things are morals, but it was unbeatable. Unbeatable.
So how did it start $9?
And two boards, $9. The trainer's husband, he's leading the way. $9 RW. Does your fucking head in.
So
You
what's
watch
the
it win.
story? Yeah,
I mean,
well, no.
Goodfellas in the chair, Koenig's not there, and then you've got every other horse is just a number or not fit.
There you go, he's our biggest fan over here. Hey, you want to come on the show?
No, mate, no.
Hello, Doctor.
Rainy, mate. I don't want to get wet, eh?
All right, mate. No worries. See you, Doc.
Don't go for a walk. Don't go for a walk in the rain.
Great win by Stampede. Great ride by Josh Parr, and nice to see Josh get a bit of a result there.
Oh, I'm pleased that you're pleased for Josh. Speaking of another rider you're very pleased for.
Who? Oh, Hippo,
Next
yeah,
race.
nice work by Hippo. I'm glad he won.
Isn't this the weirdest race, the Kosciuszko? You know, I'm going to claim some kudos because I actually ran second, Suncraze,
Great tip, Mark.
that nobody liked. Well, nobody got paid either because it didn't win. Nonetheless, all the, oh, well, must be a great chance or must be in the finish or...
All the
But
big
what about-
names
but
have
what
failed.
about
They
the
all
run?
failed.
But what about the run? Bellfly took, like, Suncraze, like, was right with it.
Yeah, I
and
know.
lost like
Just
4 or
like-
5 lengths and then goes down by half a length.
Well, we've seen Suncraze
It's
do that
weird.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's wheel spin.
it's been between like the 600 and the 200 for some reason.
I'll tell you what the key to it is, though.
Ride the shit out of it.
No, it's the other way. He gets going, the wheels spin, and Corey goes, all right, I'm beat, so he just does this. And else goes, oh, balance. Corey, balance.
Oh, okay.
Corey has to balance. He's got to throw the whip array, Corey.
All right.
It's terrible.
But what the punters want to know is what happened to all the horses they backed in this race?
Well, I remember if you came to my
Masterclass?
there's Victorium. So I thought it was a certainty going the race. I think I said, look, not at its best, but
Okay, so Victorium had a major parade problem.
major parade problem, which shows up when you're first up.
Okay. Don't Give a Damn, who was like, God, it was magnificent first up, and then we all go, well,
64 kilos, given none, posted wide.
Was
And
that
we can
flat
forgive
now?
Connections gave it
Yeah.
none.
Can
The
you forgive
Connections
that?
gave it none.
I mean, I know
No,
I
I
said
didn't
that
back
on
it.
top.
I didn't
I
back
said
it.
it out on top and changed my way of thinking, but if I hark back to my
Well, I end up back in Victorian because when it blew, I thought, well, okay, you've got to a backable price now.
we back
Yeah.
also probably couldn't win the race.
Yeah.
But anyway, Don't Give a Damn is well, okay, maybe he's just a first up again. Don't Give a Damn.
Yeah, they deliberately did the freshen up, okay, but that's not enough, is it?
No, it's not
But,
long
the,
enough.
but
4
the
weeks.
thing that was greying me up about it is that every time this thing has been superly, solidly backed, it's
Is
won.
superly solid 2 words, yeah.
It's just tough when you've got a lisp and you're doing an SS.
Do
I
you have a
struggle.
lisp?
Yeah.
I thought you did.
Yeah, it depends on whether I've had a glass of wine or not. It tends to come on a little bit more.
Nothing!
How good. Okay, let's talk about the Monster, which was,
Crippled up, gone the whole way.
and yet Ball of Muscle has just gone back to Caulfield there and won again.
What a
Well,
horse.
isn't that weird? It was some sort of like linked form there, wasn't it? And it didn't come off. But didn't we all have a little bit of a feel that was going to happen? Because remember, you were saying you should put it in the Everest, and then you didn't even want to tip it in the bloody Consolation. You know what I mean? There was that feel about it.
Fucking Everest is there's 364 days to Everest. It's already doing my head in now thinking about it. I mean, it should be favourite next year, shouldn't it? Pia Rada?
Shit, yeah.
Pia Rada's favourite for the Everest.
They've finally worked out that the horse is a 1200 metre horse.
Finally worked it out.
Yeah.
What a star it is. Let's go straight to Pia Rada. I know what to talk about Hippo. He's won 8 million. He's the best.
How you going?
Hardy.
I barred Hippo. He's on the barred list.
All right, so Pia Rada, it was the win of the day, wasn't it? It was the demolition of the day.
Except for Melbourne, yeah.
No, it was the day. It carried Tommy Berry.
Tommy Berry is a gun.
No, Gord saw Tommy Berry at Wyong on Thursday and went, Tommy Berry is on song.
Yeah, he's on absolute fire. About a couple of weeks ago, I started giving him neutral, not negative, and then about a week and a half ago, I started actually giving him a positive.
Yeah.
Well, he owned the race, but there was some angles in the race. Obviously, Tactical Advantage had problems from 1,000 to 1,200, pointed out by Gord, the new star of this whole site, and everything else had no hope. Jungle Edge is running right, but it's a wet tracker.
Oh, well, Jungle Edge is just, he's a...
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got to be scared of those horses that were unlucky
The
last
only thing
start.
surprising here about Pia Rada is that they bet plenty of 480 and SP 440. That's a surprising SP.
Look, I was particularly hard on it, so I'm surprised that
But
it was...
you liked it, Mark. I thought you did.
No, I was just like... Anyway.
Sitting in the park in the rain.
Look,
Fucking enormous.
speaking of that, did you watch that
I could be
ride
up
of Tommy
picking our
Berry's?
No,
On
I
that thing,
haven't.
that 5
I
horse
haven't.
on Thursday?
It's all ahead of me.
Oh my God, what good?
So Gord wants
Brilliant.
everyone to watch the ride of Tommy Berry, race 4
Timmy
Wyong
Berry.
last Thursday. So
should
Gord
pay
just,
Ruley or something like that. What's it like?
Berry's fan club?
no, but just
I am on Timmy Berry's. I'm on
There
the.
is a site.
I am no. Oh, is it?
No, I don't
But what I'm saying is, like, I'm honest. I can give you a negative and I'll give you a raz on the show, but if you start showing some form, then I'll change my mind because that's the whole idea of making money,
Little
isn't it?
Timmy Berry, you're his number one.
Mate, he's in the zone.
so Gord. For those of us that haven't watched race 4 Wyong last Thursday, what happened to excite you?
Inside barrier, blue colour's favourite, looks
Yep.
like it's going to cross, and he actually pushes the horse on the inside, is aggressive to make the blue colours work harder to eventually cross, and then just sits behind and pops off and owns
Okay.
the horse later
Alright.
on. It's something you never see Tommy do, and it was
Right,
beautiful.
so he could have been a lot softer, and he actually...
Normally he is. He showed intent, which is what I want to see in jockeys.
Yeah.
Little
So-
Timmy. Is it that hard to ride a horse? Benny Looker would own him.
Speaking of B Looker,
I saw B Looker walk into the races. Now, just in case it wasn't B Looker, I saw him walked in and give little Priscilla Smith a little smoochy. So there must be a couple.
What tongue?
No, kiss. Have a lovely day. She was all lippied up.
Oh.
And then I saw the funniest thing you've ever seen
why
walking out of the
was
track.
Priscilla there? Kosciuszko?
Oh, no,
It's too late, Heidi.
This is the show where we do.
This
No,
is the after show.
this is the after show. We'll see you Friday.
I tell you what, we know all the winners from
We
Saturday
know the
now.
winners, yeah. Well, I did see a jockey give Priscilla a kiss, and because I didn't know the jockey, I assumed it was Benny Looker, but it
Right.
might be. So, Priscilla, if it wasn't Benny, it's the
I
other
love
one.
it. You saw a short man
Yeah.
with a suitcase.
Yeah, and
And
wasn't
you-
a Sydney job.
Yeah.
So I went,
Yeah.
oh, that must be B Looker. And it was one of those real lippy kisses where they just go, because they don't want to get all lippied up. It's quite
So
cute.
we saw Priscilla 12 months ago at Lismore, and we saw her this like 2 weeks ago.
She had a broken
she's-
nose and small
she's-
tits in those days. She's really improved
She's
again.
lost condition.
She looks beautiful.
No.
I love a skinny
no,
chick.
no.
You guys are fucked. You love a skinny chick. Look at your missus. You haven't seen a skinny in about 4 years? You haven't seen a nude in 4 years, I mean. Is that what that means? Yeah, all right. Glory's on the brink. All right, let's keep moving on.
The Everest. Glenn, you said on Friday,
It's a fucking moral, Redzilla. I haven't found it. I haven't even backed it.
but the worst thing is,
kudos to Warren from Warren, by the way.
what price? No, forget Warren from Warren. Who?
No, he ran a place. We're not forgetting Warren from
No,
Warren.
that's a great job. But at $9.50 on the fair, Redzell wins. You've choreographed it.
I said exactly what was going to
That
happen.
is sickness.
I'm sick. I've got massive issues. I'm that dirty with myself.
I'm
All
just
right,
saying, if
I
it
didn't
was-
even, I
if
didn't
there
even go to
wasn't
the
re-
Donny to have a drink. I went home and punched myself in the face 7 times.
All right, so the race prior, Pierata is just like own them around the course.
And that's what spun me out.
No, but no. So coming to the Everest, no one is thinking, oh, I've got to back inside, I've got to back outside, or whatever. Talk to us about the betting on the Everest, because some horses are yes in the Everest, some horses are completely no in the Everest.
Well, it started before race 1 when Dirty, Filthy, Dr. Nick and Dr. Nick's team started smashing graph. $17, $15, $13. Next thing, like, they just threw a curveball on my
It
head.
was absolutely crazy. I took $19 graph, and was thinking that was a marginal bet, and next thing you know, it's $9.
Just did my head in.
So
Please go
what's
away,
the
Rain.
thinking?
I'm in a
Well,
park.
okay, what's the thinking there, Gord?
Oh, just it was not on the roulette. I couldn't line
Different
up the
form,
other, so,
different
yeah.
form. Because let's talk about the lead up, where I go, oh God. In her, you're tipping in her time from that lead up. Shoals and Sandra and Elaine, they're all the same runs, sort of.
For me, it was like I was negative on the 2 Melbourne horses
But
out of that
do you know what I'm
race.
saying? That they've all sort of run the same races.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they've sat off the pace.
You couldn't line them up.
And run on.
Yeah.
Redzel has attempted to make all and faded. Trapeze artist, who knows what he did. But if there's anything to say about the lead up, it's like, oh God, I can't make anything from the lead up.
That's why I ended up back in
Therefore,
the or not Spatz.
what do you go to? The prices.
Oh, okay, the SPs.
SP.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
say, oh, I'm not
No,
sure
that's
about
a
this.
great point. I didn't think of that.
And, you know, Owen got me straight after the race and went, you know, like the wind, you know, maybe, you know, Redzel was a better run
Fucking
than it
Owen,
looked.
he just thinks too much about bullshit. Just stamp A, obvious.
Hopefully Owen will be on the show soon to
What do you mean? He's on Friday with Glenn and I.
speak his bullshit.
I've got to host and do the prices while you and Owen give the tips.
Beautiful. Can we just get out of this rain?
No.
I'm in Erskineville.
No,
In
but
the
park,
rain. In
the fucking rain.
In the rain.
this is what happened yesterday, isn't it?
What, on and off?
Yeah.
I've never seen so
Look,
many-
I'll tell you right now, I am particularly interested in 2 horses in that race, and I guarantee Trapeze Stardust, we know now, Gerald Ryan thinks that this horse, best run, is 3rd up, so it's irrelevant what it does 1st and 2nd up, just back at 3rd up next preparation, it'll win.
Even Gerald Ryan, like, but he can't train a 3rd upper.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
that's the whole thing, but he trains it differently because he knows this horse peaks 3rd up. What I'm saying is he's very soft on it.
Fair comment.
Yeah.
Fair comment.
And the other one I think is going to be a serious horse is number 5 Graph. I think it's a serious horse.
All right, but I presume he'll
Redzel-
be tipped out now.
Yeah, it'll be tipped out, I will assume. But Redzel won't be winning the Everest next year.
Why not? You're a 6-year-old.
Yeah, because
Why not? Exactly.
Graph will be aimed at the
Even billion.
Everest.
I'll have Redzel, you can have Graph.
I tell you what, we'll have a lot of clients that are very happy about that because they're big Redzel fans, and congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
You've
Yeah,
just
yeah,
probably
cut
bought
there.
a house on
all
the
right,
harbour.
so can we have a comment on this race, full stop, like what it is?
Move on.
It's brilliant. It's a great initiative by Peter V'landys. And I love the advertising on the Opera House.
All I kept thinking all morning was the 2 blokes that are the dynamic syndicates. Who are they? The 2 twin-looking blokes. What are they? What are they called? The fucking the Redzel colours. What's that business called?
the dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they went to Forest.
No, not dynamic. That's
Oh,
what's the
sorry.
place?
It's fucking
What a Triple Crown.
Triple Crown. They brought the trophy. There it was in the studios there at Forestville at Sky, and I was just sitting there this morning. and thought I could drive to Forestville pretty quick, and then those blokes are probably still half pissed. They're going to walk out with this fucking trophy. The old Glenn style
You just
snap the
lift it.
trophy. I wanted to steal it so bad.
And you wouldn't
then-
even sell it. You'd walk over to your apartment in Coogee and they're on the... you just have it sitting there, I reckon.
All right, but this race is
God, I
trying to
understand
be
it.
a proper race.
And it is a proper race.
But why? Why is it a proper race? Because, God, I want it to be
It
a
is
proper
going
race.
to
I
be-
want
It's
it to be
a
a proper
It
race.
is
race.
going to be the premier sprint in Australia.
The
by
12
country
best
mile.
sprinters.
No, it is a premier sprint, but is a premier sprint a proper race?
Yeah,
Yes. We breed for sprinters in Australia. Our premier race should be a sprint race.
Still doesn't feel right.
That's because it's
That's
new.
because you guys are just old dinosaurs.
Hey,
That's
I'm on
why.
your side with this. Don't put me in prehistoric
Lamborn land.
cabaret land full of fucking Chardonnay or whatever he's been doing all over. I'm fucking with you. It's been amazing.
I think it's a success.
But the only problem with it is it's not the only race meeting of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, egg fart.
Everyone come. Oh, egg fart.
Egg fart.
Oh, well, it's a cat. It's a cat.
It is a cat. I thought it was a cat during the week.
Yeah.
I've tipped it on top. Watched the race. Probably should have won.
Should it?
It's a bit unlucky.
Been beaten
though.
2 lengths. Dukan has nailed it for second.
I actually think that McAvoy should have shown a lot more intent at the start.
By the same token, do you want to back McAvoy after you've just, 300,000's arriving in your bank account?
I know, because they're all...
Because it's hard to say you're on a high, but
Yeah.
you're thinking, fuck, that's a lot of tax. I mean, even Dopey Ty gets 105,000 for the ride. It makes you want to vomit.
Let's quickly scream through this
Good on
because
you,
it's cold and
Ty.
I've got to go and get a jacket.
Oh, it's wearing... And do we need lights? There's still...
We may need lights shortly.
By the way, I got the quaddie too.
What?
Oh, well,
Renzel,
yeah.
Mossendale, Big Blue, Esperance.
Yeah, because I went field in the distance race because, yeah.
God, you've been touched by God. Fuck off. You went field in one race in the 40s chance.
Yes, I know.
Are you a fuckwit or what?
All right, so we not talk
You're
about
the
not
best.
talk about the Craven Plate because
Yeah.
it is a non-race.
Is that Mossendale's race or Big Blues?
Mossendale, Graham Hughes on the Talking Sport, he goes, "What about Mossendale and
What'd
the
you
Craven
say?
Plate?" And I
You
went,
said couldn't win?
"No, I didn't say that because I'd seen it it absolutely hurled through the line at Morfettville in a race." But I'm going, "Oh God, Mossendale, you've been a 1,400 metre horse for 5 years. Suddenly you're just going to be like, oh well, I can be a 2,000 metre horse now."
Look,
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It was so important
let's
to
bat on.
handle the
Let's get to
conditions.
Big Blue, the hurdler one. All right, Lizzie wanted to back it on the
I've
run.
been
Beauty Lizzie. She's a bit
Well,
fair
I've been
girl.
tipping hurdlers to Gord, lately.
I
haven't, yeah.
know.
And I marked this 14 to 1.
Yeah.
Like $15 this horse. Big
G'day,
Blue.
girls.
And they go,
There you
one,
go.
of you, one of your biggest fans backed it off your price assessment, Mark.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I'm pleased to hear that because honestly, this stable is potent.
Yeah, they are.
Just psst.
Yep.
Boiling on.
And if they want to put them over the hurdles, even better.
Well, Big Blue's 40s, Juby's the other day was 26s. Everything they put down odds as well.
By the way, 1 Foot in Heaven was going. If it had stayed on the inside, it would have won the race. Okay, but it was
Stayed on
going.
the
It was
inside.
going that
What does that
well.
mean?
No, he moved off. Timmy Berry
He
mucked it
ended
up.
up being widest and covering about another
Oh,
30
he'll
metres
fucking-
more.
He'll come down
Yeah.
a peg in the fan club.
No, because the horse was going that well. I don't think he had any other option other than to try and get room on the outside. But if he had been slightly more patient, he would have won the race.
I think it was.
God, it showed a nice dash there for a few hundred metres, didn't it? And then it sort of knocked up last time.
All right,
really?
but you cannot back a single one of these horses in any races in contests at the next start or the start after that or the start after that.
What if they go back to a dry track, can you?
No, this is just like a weird race. It's a weird form reference. It doesn't work.
Okay. And then we'll get to the last.
Gord, you
Yeah.
said Esperance is a good horse.
There it is.
It was a Monty.
But-
I love the fact it was from a wide barrier. You knew because of what they'd done on Osborne Bulls, they were going to try the thing later on
You've
in the
said
day.
that 7 times now.
The only danger was Reveneer, and Esperance is a better horse.
But it completely
You're right.
it donkey licked
You're right.
Reveneer.
Yeah,
you're right.
Is it because Reveneer actually tried to go to the outside fence on the turn?
No, Esperance is
Whereas
a better
Esperance-
horse. That's why. No, Esperance is a better horse. As I said, Reveneer had that string of wins
Might
where we
not
thought
be
it was a
good.
serious horse, and then it shown that was its limit. So.
Well done, Gord. A bit of value there from the preview show. It was $19 most places. Oh, by the way, what were you talking about that $19 bloody, that horse in the Everest? Then I went home and they were taking $10 on the fare.
Oh, Chappie's artist.
You wrote...
Sports betting. So sports
You
betting.
made a mistake. You should have wrote down $9. You put a 1 there.
Okay. So did I make a mistake or did sports betting make a mistake?
Well,
so
someone
on dynamic odds all day.
You
'cause
did shoot us down, Mark. You shot us down. You said, no, I think you're wrong. It's $19. You did
I went home
burn
to
us.
I went to
$710.
dynamic odds. There it is. Sports betting $19, but it clearly wasn't a price you could take.
Right, okay.
Oh, okay.
But the previous show, just getting back to that, Mark, in his genius, did mention all the reasons why that $19 Noble Joey was wrong, and sure, you lose your money, but you could lay $8.20 at one stage, and that is a lot of profit in that range for buying and selling. That'll do us for part one. We'll get back with your emails.